Howdy. Howdy do all of my night trekkers and my day trekkers and my evening trekkers and all of my homies and neighbors and fellow fellow guys. I need to put on my Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a magnetic badge tonight. I'm going to do the magnetic Voyager era badge because my other one is on my uniform, which clearly we're doing a stream in the bedroom tonight, in the quarters, I should say. Got the quarters stream tonight. Put it up here. Put it up here. Doing the quarters stream. Oh nope, not that way. Well, phooey. What are we doing here? Everybody tell Kaibo he's a good boy in the comments below, or just in general. Oh, the captain will get on me if it's crooked, because my captain watches these streams later on, and he's like, well, I don't know if Talor does. Talor is our, for those who don't know, Talor is she's our commanding officer. Sorry, I'm missing something. Talor is our Vulcan CO on the bridge. I report to her directly, um, and she reports directly to the captain. She's the number one. She's the commander, Commander Talor. Anyway, we are live, and we're here. Got a few things to talk about tonight. If I can get myself in order, we had to wait for. Let's see, how do I put this? My, I have a child. She is she is the love of my life. She is the light of my life, and I love her very much. But her mom and I split about officially split about 4 years, 3 or 4 years ago. So we had to do a kid swap, and she is always late to come pick up our beautiful, lovely child. So that's what I was waiting for. That's what was taking up so much time. But hey, these things will happen from time to time. Even in the 24th century, there is divorce sometimes. Uh, but we manage. We manage. So, um, tonight on the Night Trek, I have a special thing that I'm going to do because we're going to read an article that just came out today from Variety. I know some people have already seen this, but it is an article about Hollywood and why some of their things are failing, and what this article seems to think the solution is. So, stay tuned for that. Gotta hydrate. Um, all right, let's take away the banner because we got a little bit of maintenance to do. Uh, Not maintenance, but we're gonna do a couple of things. Um, if the camera stops for some reason, somebody let me know. Yeah, my badge is not straight. Gotta wear your badge at all times when you're part of Starfleet because um, the you never know when you're going to be called to duty, and uh, the captain, at least of my ship, likes to be able to get a hold of people just in case. So he wants us to wear our badges even when we're not in uniform, which clearly I'm not in uniform right now. Um, but it's okay. We'll be good. We'll be fine. share um, uh, let my brain catch up to everything. Dup, dup, dup. So, first off, I think we'll talk about this article because it's the most pressing thing right now. Not not pressing, but it's the most it's the thing that I've been thinking about the most here. Um, but yeah, if you go to variety.com, this is one of their first articles on the main splash page. And it's titled let's see. I think it was titled boy problems or something like that, or boys. I don't remember. Um, I don't like using the website because it's annoying because of all the ads and they keep popping up every 2 seconds to say, "Hey, if you don't use an ad blocker, it's cool for us." Yeah, yeah. You see what I'm saying here? It's like I don't want to use not ad blocker because ad blocker is what makes being on the internet like handleable. I don't know if that's a word, but it isn't to me now. Um, so this article starts off by saying Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty aren't the only ones looking for a prince. It says leadership at Walt Disney Studios has been pressing Hollywood creatives in recent months. Multiple sources tell Variety for movies that will bring young men back to the brand in a meaningful way. Young men is defined here by sources as ages 13 to 28, aka Gen Z. Now, I don't know about you, but I could come up with a couple of different reasons why young men have have not have left the brand um, and are no longer paying attention to what Disney or Marvel or Star Wars or literally anything to come out of the Disney brand. Uh, think of a couple reasons, a couple of movies that were very female centered and very anti men and anti uh, or they all the protagonists fought against incels of one sort or another, which is like as if incels are really that big of a problem in our world. I think Hollywood thinks they're a bigger problem than what they really are. Yes, there have been some who have done some terrible things, uh, but I really don't think they're that big of an issue. Anyway, the article goes on to say first, every film studio is looking for better ways to convert young audiences into habitual moviegoers. Now, I know, I'm going to take a pause real quick. I don't like the wording of that. It says every film studio is looking for better ways to convert young audiences. I think Hollywood in general is looking for a way to convert young people in general, which I think is a bad thing, obviously. Kids are way too impressionable, and if Hollywood is trying to shape young minds, that's a bad thing. But then you have the extra layer of the really bad people in Hollywood who are shaping young minds because they're attracted to young minds. And people like that need to be thrown into a wood chipper or thrown into a pool of sharks with laser beams on their heads or something. I don't know. But um, yeah, I'm not going to apologize for people who are in Hollywood and are terrible. What is my hair doing? What is this? I know you guys probably don't care, but bugs the heck out of me. So, anyway, article goes on to say numerous studies show that Gen Z men in particular are lonely, gaming obsessed group who are a lonely, gaming obsessed group who were hampered in their formative years by COVID 19 lockdowns. Not the easiest segment to grasp. I think a lot of people are lonely, gaming obsessed people since COVID. But I know a lot of people were gaming obsessed uh, uh, people who were they were that way before COVID, and Disney was making crap movies a little bit before that. I know right before COVID, the first, well, not the first, but one of the movies that was released was uh, The Rise of Skywalker, which was really bad. And before that was uh, The Last Jedi, which was even worse. Has that movie aged well in the past 5, 6 years that it's been out? I'm sorry, 6, 7 years maybe. Whenever the Last Jedi was released, has anybody's opinion of it changed? Has anybody gone back and gone, man, that was a good movie. It didn't deserve all the hate. I know there's been some posts on Twitter where people are like, this movie didn't deserve the hate it got. Yes, it very much did. It was a very bad movie. But whatever. Um, anyway, back to the article. It says what's surprising producers, writers, and other partners in the larger industry that is Disney has been calling for original concepts to lure the demo back, the demo being young men, back to the movies. This is the same Disney whose multi-billion-dollar contingent engines, Marvel and Lucasfilm, have stated men of all ages over almost 2 decades since the company acquired them. The sources say Disney has been seeking new IP and pitches such as splashy global adventures and treasure hunts, as well as seasonal fare like films for the Halloween corridor. Who are these sources? Basically, they're saying that like they're looking for new IPs to acquire and destroy, apparently, um, and it's looking for global adventures and treasure hunts. Yeah, everybody likes a good treasure hunt movie, but hang on, my video. Darn it. There we go. Okay. Um, Hold on one second. We'll close that for now. Yeah, but basically they're looking for new IPs to acquire, which is like, why don't they just come up with new stuff? Wouldn't that be cool? It also says something about the Halloween corridor. Well, like horror movies? Yeah, people would love to see horror movies again, but not from Disney. Not not if they're going to keep doing what they're doing, which they haven't shown any signs really. I mean, within reason, they haven't shown any signs of stopping doing what they're doing. It says the calls come as the Star Wars machine struggles to produce any film project, and the superhero genre sheds audiences by the minute. Yeah, duh. Like they thought they could just buy Star Wars and make whatever they wanted to with it, and it would just be swallowed down. Um, which didn't happen because you have to have a good story first, and they did not. So whatever. Um, it says while two insiders say the mandate to recruit young males goes as high as the C-suite, which I hate that term, and Kawibo knows why. We both hate that term. The task primarily has fallen on David Greenbaum, the former Searchlight Pictures co-head, brought in 2024 to run Disney's live action film business. Well, he should be fired right now then because he's done terribly since last year. It says that label has been sorely lacking in guy leaning fare. Thank you, Kuibo. It is that. Hang on. I'll throw that up on stage. That way people can see what I refer to. Uh, he calls yeah, that's what he calls it. Anyway, so going forward, you'll be able to see the comments on the chat. Anyway, so um, where was I? It says that label has been sorely lacking in guy-leaning fare. I don't know who wrote this, but they're stupid. Like the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise for nearly 10 years. Studio insiders say the property is in active development, though not in its last reported iteration involving Margot Robbie. Oh, cool. So they're not going with put a chick in it and make her lame and gay? Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to do that again. Probably. I know it's not going forward with Margot Robbie, but there are several reports that Pirates of the Caribbean is coming back again. Because they probably are panicking because there's no male fans, and um, if the male fans are gone, they have to bring them back. Well, how do you do that? We need hot women, and we need what worked before. So you know what they did? They probably, well, I'm gonna say, they probably gave Johnny Depp a crap ton of money and said, please come back, we'll do anything. Because despite what people think about the whole Amber Heard and him thing, people sided with him a whole lot more. Uh, it's a fact. I don't know what to say about it. She came out of that whole thing looking really bad. But whatever. It says, going back to the article, it says, to say nothing of the lackluster attempt to reboot and hand off Indiana Jones in 2023, gee, I wonder why, which earned 383 million worldwide on a 300 million budget before marketing costs. it, it had a 300 million budget before marketing costs, and it only earned 383 million dollars. That means it made a negative $1 million, which is not. I mean, I know not negative million because I'm sure it made some, but dang, can you imagine thinking that Indiana Jones was just a bag? Like you're just like, this is like printing money. Even with the director, what's his name, uh, Mangold. I can't remember his first name. Uh, Mangold. Kuibo, help me out. James Mangold. Thank you, Kuibo. You were slow on the draw there, but it's okay. I still love you. James, there you go. Good job. Good job, buddy. Um, yeah, James Mangold, good writer, good filmmaker, totally ruined that Indiana Jones movie. It was so bad. Uh, I should cover that movie at some point. That would I just that movie is it's such trash, but anyway, it's not my internet. It's probably my internet actually. It's probably why my camera's flickering. But it's okay. You know what? Hang on a second. I wondered why I looked so low in frame. My desk moves up and down and I forgot to make it go all the way down. Wow, I'm really slow tonight. Sorry. Well, if you go back and watch the beginning of the stream, I explained why. Essentially, child transfer from me, this parent, to the other parent, but the other parent was late. So, even in the future, there are divorce disputes and things like that. Real fun. And I'm a bad streamer. Thank you. Thank you, Kawabo. I'm not crying. I'm just cutting onions. Anyway, so Indiana Jones lost money, and it says a Disney source from that movies. A Disney source says that that movies for Gen Z men are part of an overall strategy across all labels, but no more urgent than any other quadrant. This should be like the most urgent thing ever. I'm scratching my leg, not my butt, by the way. It says Greenbaum recently hired Daria Sircik, a savvy former Paramount Pictures co-chief, to assist in this effort. Greenbaum is beloved by talent, but has largely existed in the prestige indie sphere, while Sircik shepherded films from franchises like Sonic the Hedgehog, A Quiet Place, and Smile. Some think the push for this demographic is simply Greenbaum trying to put his stamp on live action. Yet numerous power players who spoke with Variety see something ominous in the tea leaves. Oh my god, this is the worst article ever. I'm gonna skip just ahead because, like, obviously, they wanted to keep up with woke. Whatever you want to call woke. I know some people call it one thing, but it's where you take a beloved franchise and you completely remove everything that made it accessible to everybody. You know, Star Wars was a boy brand. It just was. And they decided, let's start putting girls in it. Which, there's nothing wrong with putting girls in your movie. Half the world is made up of girls, women, and that's great. Uh, but they liked Star Wars before you started making it specifically for them. But you know what happens when you cater to one audience over the other? Well, the other one decides, I don't want to be part of this anymore. I don't like this because it's not made for everybody. It's made for just one person or one type of person. So, I always talk about like the example of like when you're playing basketball with the boys, and one of the boys' little sister is like, "Can I play?" And it's like, okay, well now we have to cater to this child, this little girl, and if she gets hurt, she's gonna run away and be sad about it. And the one guy whose sister that is, he'll get in trouble if his sister gets hurt or is told she can't play. So it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Well, you either don't let her play or you give her her own smaller ball and say, go play over there, which sounds awful, but like when it comes to making millions of dollars, when it comes to movie and how much a movie, how when it comes to movies and how much money is thrown around, as a studio executive, you would think you'd pay more attention to the money aspect and say, what is financially feasible for this? What's going to make us lots of money? And I think they're just now starting to realize that it's not doing what they've been doing the past several years. It's just that they're a really big ship and it's hard for them to change direction. So, whatever. um, the last line of this article says, and I don't know who says it. Oh, it's the executive. I think it's the guy that was talking. Oh, it's Bob Iger. Never mind. Bob Iger's the one who said it. He said, I never thought I'd say it. He muses about the Magic Kingdom's boy troubles despite its gem box of iconic IP. But it looks like Disney is going to have to start trying. It's going to have to start trying. Ah! What? You're just now really realizing that they're going to have to start trying. Whatever. You know what? Disney, they are. I think they're beyond help. Yeah, Bob Iger needs to go away. He's the problem with him leaving. Um, the problem with him leaving is that who do you replace him with? Who there can take the helm and do good things with it. Who's going to replace him and make it better, or fix it in a way that is going to make sure that they do what's right. What is Kevin Feige going to take over? He's who of those executives who've been in power the past however many years, who of them are going to be able to fix things? Who are they going to listen to? The fans, to the people who give them all their money and go to their theme parks and buy their merchandise? And not that that's a reason for him to stay. I just don't think it's a reason for him to like continue being the one in charge. Whatever. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. So, how many people have watched Alien Earth? Give me one sec. How many people have watched Alien Earth? Because that's what we're going to talk about now. Because I watched Alien Earth, and I don't know about y'all. I'm back. Hey, I don't know about y'all, but man, that show is. I had high hopes of it because high hopes for it The trailer made it look pretty interesting, but yeah, no, it's not. So, um, Alien Earth, who, buddy? Um, the main actress looks like a cross between Anna de Armas and Florence Pugh. If you've ever looked at her and been like, God, who does she remind me of? Look her up. I don't know her name and I don't care to. Um, but yeah, we'll get into that because she's, uh, man, that whole storyline of her being a child in a human, in an adult body, adult robot body, it's very weird. It's one of those things that like Hollywood should stop doing. But anyway, so in 2120, there are five companies that control Earth and the solar system because they've colonized the solar system. Uh, and one of those companies is the company called Prodigy. So um, out in space, though, there's a USCSS ship called the Maginot or Maginot. I don't know French, but it's a Weyland-Yutani ship research vessel, and it's coming back from a 65-year mission to obtain to bring back extraterrestrial specimens, and among them are face huggers. Um, so that's kind of like the backboard. That's what's happening. Um, the people on the Maginot, I'm not going to go beat for beat in the storyline because I mean, I'll cover it here, but obviously it's just silly. But so the people on the Maginot, I'm going to call it the Maginot because I don't know what it's really called. Um, they wake up from cryo sleep and they start talking to each other, but they're talking about the mission that they were just on for the past 65 years, I guess. I'm guessing they left Earth 65 years ago, got their samples, and are coming back. So now it's been 65 years since they have come back. Or it might have been a situation where they were out for like 30 some odd years, got the stuff, and then they've been coming back for another 35.2 years, whatever. Or 30, whatever. Anyway, whole point is they wake up from their cryo sleep and they immediately start talking about like their mission and stuff, which is like day one stuff. You know, it'd be like you started a job and you've completed part of it and you're like driving back to the hub to go home after work and you start talking about it with the people you just were on the mission with. You know, I don't know, it's just stupid. Like in the original Alien movie, they all wake up and they don't start talking about the mission they were just on and how they like explaining it to people on the ship who were with them the whole time, but apparently don't know the geopolitics of the world that they came from. But they immediately start talking. But that's what they do in this movie. In the original Alien, they talk about what they're gonna do when they get back to Earth, what they're gonna do with the money that they got, how they have to like renegotiate their contracts and stuff. Things that you would talk about after a successful mission. Sorry, I'm just fidgeting with my little pen. The original Alien movie is a um, masterclass, an absolute masterclass in storytelling, character introduction, um, environmental, environmental. What do you call it? Environmental storytelling. And this is just like a member berries the whole time, and it's very silly. Anyway, they talk about it, and a face hugger has obviously gotten out and killed somebody, and there's a cat because remember Alien? Remember Jonesy? Remember the cat from Alien? Anyway, a xenomorph is grown on the ship, and it basically causes all sorts of havoc which causes the ship to re-enter Earth's atmosphere and crash into a building that is owned by Prodigy, sorry. Um, and the I can't remember his name. The guy who his name's Morrow. He's the security officer of the Maginot, Maginot, the Nomage. Um, the security officer like hides from the xenomorph as the ship crashes. um, Back on Earth, Prodigy, Prodigy. Oh, I have a problem saying that. Prodigy has this little island called Little St. James, where they have children who are sick and dying, and they're gonna put their consciousnesses into adult robot bodies. Um, because he wants to eventually do it to full grown humans, ending death. But uh, adult brains are too stiff or something, and child brains are easily malleable and can handle the trauma or whatever. I don't know. So the first person that they do is this girl. It's this girl. Man, I can't talk. This girl named Marcy, and she goes into a body, and she calls herself Wendy because they're big on Peter Pan symbology. I don't know, but uh, the guy who wrote uh, Peter Pan, he also like tried to adopt this kid, and like he was weird with kids. I get like the people he's a beloved person now, but like if you look into the history of some of the stuff he did, it's like, why were you so focused on kids, bro? You know, kind of weird. But anyway, on this island, they successfully put her consciousness into this robot body, and um, the leader of Prodigy, his name's Boy Cavalier, which okay, whatever, that's a choice. He just wants to have a smart conversation with somebody else, and he thinks that children are the best way of doing that. Sounds a little again a little St. James Islandy, if you ask me. So anyway, when that ship crashed, uh, basically it crashed into property of Project Prodigy, so it technically belongs to Prodigy now, even though I think it was Utani. It was a Wayland Utani ship, so they want their stuff. But Boy Cavalier is like, too bad, it's mine now. Everything on it is mine. So, in a big brain move, he sends Wendy and the other kids. I think there's like five other kids, to go in and assist the search and rescue team in finding all the specimens. And Wendy, she has her own um, she has her own goal of finding her brother, because her in her past life her brother thought she was dead, and she wants to find him because she's been like, I guess when she gets close to machines she can control them or something. It's very like, where did all this technology come from before the original Alien movie? Because like the original Alien movie, all the technology, um, like they still have like rear projected tube monitors and very like MS DOS computers. Um, it's almost like they got to the 80s and technology kind of stagnated in its aesthetics, but it obviously got more technologically advanced. So, I mean, it's definitely a really cool look, but it's not. It's like they're introducing more technology than existed in the Alien movie, so there's gonna be a discrepancy. It's just silly, but anyway. So, Boy Cavalier, I hate saying that name, but he sends children in to go help save not only the people who were in the building. Well, they're not going in for that specifically, but they're going in to get the specimens. But they're going to see dead bodies, because there's people in the building that it hit. And these kids are like 10, 11, 12. They're not like teenagers necessarily. Um, and I would venture to say that not even like teenagers would be able to handle that amount of carnage, because they show the rescue team, and these are like supposedly soldiers, and even they are like, ugh, oh, ugh, grody, that's disgusting when they see dead bodies. So I don't know, it's just very stupid. Um, so that's pretty much the first. Yeah, in the first episode, there's like a research room, and two of the search and rescue guys. One of them gets this like bug on his neck, which he doesn't feel, and it's like a big bug, like something this big, getting on your neck, and then crawling down your shirt. Like, I'm sure you'd feel that, but he doesn't feel it until the plot demands that he feels it. So there's a part where Morrow, the guy from the Weyland-Yutani ship, which he's acting his butt off. He's constantly sweaty, um, but I think it's because he's putting in 90% of the effort to actually act his butt off. But anyway, he captures them because he's trying to catch the xenomorph for whatever reason. It doesn't really tell us why, but I'm sure we'll be told and not shown. But he ties these two guys up, and that's when it's like a blood sucking bug attaches to the one guy, sucks him dry, and has like this big sack of blood on it, like a giant tick. And then it jumps over to the other guy, or another one jumps on the other guy and starts killing him. So it's disgusting body horror, but it looked cool. There's also this like tentacle monster with like an eyeball stalk, or an eye stalk, and it has multiple eyes on it. Uh, it's a cool concept, like of a creature, but it's weird and gross. But so anyway, in episode 2, um, uh, boy Cavalier, still hate that. He tells Weyland-Yutani to go climb a tree, and that the Maginot is his ship now, which is probably gonna. I mean, and if they try to come in and take over, it's going to be considered a hostile act. So he hangs up on him, which is probably going to cause problems in the future of the show, because there needs to be tension, and they set that up. But Wendy's brother is part of the search and rescue crew, which are filled with idiots who don't use their guns. And he gets separated from everybody because one of the xenomorphs, like, hits him or something, and the other two get killed, and he runs away. Um, and let's see. His name is Hermit, by the way. Hermit, which is a silly name for a character, but they have to do the whole, like, strange name for your hero. Because remember Alien, where it was Ripley and Dallas and other names that are gender neutral and can be played by anybody, but really they're trying to say something in this anyway, not in the other one, but whatever. So in the building, um, Hermit is trying to. They've already gone like floor by floor to tell people to get out of the building because a plane hit the second tower, and not literally. That's a 9/11 joke. And he opens this door, and there's like there's like there's one apartment filled with, it says wealthy residents, but they're dressed in um like French aristocrat clothing, having a party. And it's like, you didn't feel the building get hit by a very large spaceship, and they're like, oh, we don't have to worry. Oh, and they drink, and it's like, I'm sorry, but like people would be worried about it, and that's when the xenomorph chooses to. It was like it's like holding on to a statue that it vaguely looks like, and like nobody saw it, even though the statue is like not part of the alien. It just kind of maybe kind of resembles it, but they had to have like walked past it and seen it and gone, "Huh, that's a weird looking alien thing that's holding on to the statue that doesn't look anything like it." I don't know. It was very stupid, but it like it knows that the audience is watching, so it like will hang its tail down, and when they come around a corner, you'll see it go whoop, up into like a vent or something, and it's like, ooh, there's the alien, because remember Alien, guys? Remember Alien? It's very stupid. The show is very stupid, and I'm tired of pretending like these stupid TV shows are are anything but stupid. They rely on the characters to be stupid, and they rely on the audience to be stupid, who have turned their mind off and are just sucking down what's happening on TV and don't even think about the fact that it's not written very well. The actors are doing what they can with very little. And like we expect more from people than this. I mean, am I stupid for thinking that? No, I don't think I am. I think I'm looking at it and going, what is happening here? Um, but the xenomorph goes into the room, kills all the people, all the rich people in the room, uh, and then it when it goes after Hermit, it like jumps over him, and he's got it in his sights, and instead of just shooting it, okay, he's got it like this, and he goes, oh, and like turns away from it instead of just shooting. Which I'm not saying he could have killed it necessarily, but he could have done some damage to it. He could have tried, but he didn't. He just turns away. But it doesn't matter because as soon as it goes to kill him, Morrow from the Weyland-Yutani ship comes in and tases it with a weapon that completely incapacitates it. It like knocks it out, and it's like laying there unconscious. Which, why didn't they just do that in Alien or in Aliens? Just use a zapping gun to knock it out. Again, it's like the more lore that they try to add into this show, it's like the more it hurts the original movie. You just make the people in the original movie look incompetent, like they didn't think to use these things. Because all this takes place before Alien. And it's like, in what universe is this in the same universe as the original Alien movie? Anyway, um, he's pulling this thing to like an elevator, and there are two other. Oh, he also knocks out Hermit with the same gun. So Hermit should be done and out down for the count for like ever, but he's not. The xenomorph, as he's putting the xenomorph into an elevator, two other search and rescue people are like, "Come on, we got to get out of here." Oh crap! What is that thing? And it regains consciousness and kills everybody in the room except for Morrow because he was standing still or something, and it gets away because reasons, because plot armor, I guess. So, um, so the other, so the Lost Boys is what they're called, I guess. Um, Toodles, Smee, Nibs, and Curly are along with oh gosh, it's what's his name? The guy from Deadwood, or not Deadwood, but ah the what's who's the guy from the guy from the Mandalorian. He was the marshal. Kuibo, you got any help? Can you help me here? the guy who played the Marshal in Mos Pelgo. I know all these Star Wars words, but I can't even think of the actor's name. I'm gonna think the answer into existence. Who's the actor who played the one guy in Mandalorian season 2? Oliphant. Timothy Oliphant. Thank you. I knew. This is why I have Kuibo here. He's my man. Thank you. Thank you, Kuibo. There, I kissed you. Um, so Timothy Oliphant's character, I can't remember his name. He's also a robot of some kind. Long story short, he tells the other kids to like help him get the samples. Uh, and he ends up downloading like all the information from the ship onto his finger. He like undoes his fingernail and puts it in, which Gary from Neurotic said it would be funnier if he had it on his thumb, because then it could be like a thumb drive. And you download on your thumb drive, and then thumb drive, thumb drive. I thought it was a funny joke, so I thought I'd steal from the best. But the main point of that whole scene with him and the kids is he gets all their information on everything, what the xenomorph is, how it lays eggs, all that baloney. Let's see. So, let's see. A couple of the other hybrid kids, uh, they, let's see, they run into. No, I'm sorry. That happens in the third episode. Whatever. They find some Wendy. Wow, I'm completely stupid. Oh, that's what it is. So Slightly and Wendy are going after Wendy's brother, and they find him and save him or whatever. And Slightly just says, "She's your brother or she's your sister," and she's like, "Oh, that's a secret. You should shut up. You're stupid." And then they do like this stupid, like, "Oh, what did you say that one Christmas morning when we were kids and blah blah blah," and she says, "Oh, it was this," and he's like, "Okay, I believe you." But they have this weird like hug where it's almost like they're not doing a, "Oh, we're brother and sister." It's almost like two people who were in love years ago like come back to each other after years of being apart. They don't kiss or anything, but like they do this weird hug where they're just leaning on each other, and he like pulls away and is just like looking at her like, oh, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weirdly shot, and I didn't like it. Um. Anyway, they encounter three. They encounter several xenomorph eggs, and are told by Kirsch. Oh, that's his name, Kirsch. I'm sorry, Timothy Oliphant plays Kirsch. He tells them to contain them until the hazmat team arrive. But then Hermit is dragged away by a xenomorph, and Wendy chases after. That's where the scene ends. That's where the episode ends. Well, not even. I don't think we're gonna get to Strange New Worlds episode 3, guys. So, episode 3. Let's see. Episode 3. Orders or says that Boy Cavalier, he orders the specimens to be brought to Neverland Island, or Little St. James Island as I call it. And Morrow from the Weyland-Yutani ship, the guy who successfully took down a xenomorph with a taser, he finds Slightly and Smee, which are two of the other kids who were targeted on Little St. James Island. Who they act like idiots. Like the only thing worse than a child trying to pretend like an adult an adult pretending to act like a child. And they call each other dude and bro or actually not even dude. I think they just call each other bro several times, and it's annoying as crap. It's so stupid. It's like that just shows that they shouldn't even be there because they're acting like children in the brain. They're like, "Oh, you said the F word," which they actually say the F word, but I'm not. This is a clean stream. I'm not gonna say it, but oh, you said the F word. Oh, you, dude, you, or bro, you, dude. It's like it's just stupid. But um, anyway, um, Wendy goes after her brother. Um, Morrow he interrogates the two kids, suspicious of their childlike behavior. He downloads the specimen data from the Maginaut and plants a device on Slightly before he escapes. Um, let's see. Wendy finds her brother, and they both fight the xenomorph in like a truck, in like a what do you call it? Like a semi truck trailer, semi tractor trailer. And it set like a trap. It like glued him to a wall, and he was like, "No, it's a trap. No, it's a trap." And like the whole scene is really badly edited because like it gets cut, it bleeds on like the ceiling or something. Like it doesn't come in the trailer to come get them. It goes on top. Wendy stabs up with like this sword that she has, which it's not even a sword. It's from like a paper cutter, from like those old paper cutter styles. So it's those things aren't even sharp. But she grabbed it before she left and has it on her back as if it's a sword, but it's not a sword. It's literally just it's a paper cutter. But she stabs up in it and it bleeds through. And like I know the xenomorph blood is a highly corrosive substance, but like within seconds it goes from a hole that's like this big to like the size of a person that a person can fit through because it ends up knocking the trailer over and they roll in it and they walk through the hole where its blood corroded through, which presents all sorts of stupid questions like how did it go that fast, how did it spread that quickly. I mean, like I understand it could make a hole but not like a huge hole that's like you could drive a car through it. It's just very stupid. But anyway, they escape. They continue to fight, and Wendy ends up trapping it inside of a another elevator type thing. Because remember Aliens, when they trapped the or when the queen comes up out of the elevator, and they fight in the elevator for a second. Anyway, the door gets shut on her and Wendy, and she 1v1s this alien, for lack of a better term, and she cuts its head off with a paper cutter, which isn't sharp. But apparently, you put like a sword on the paper cutter to cut paper now in the future. It's very stupid. It's very stupid. Anyway, um, they both get injured. In fact, her brother gets stabbed like through the lower section of his body with the tail from the xenomorph, which is a killing blow, but apparently not in this alternate universe because it can't be the same universe. Uh, but apparently he's fine. Um, they both get taken back to Little St. James Island. Um, Boy Cavalier inspects the specimens in front of him until Kirsch is like, "No, you need to get out of the room," even though like he downloaded all the information about it, so like they would know. Uh, Whatever. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that's where I stopped. I got really bored. It was close to the end, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" But essentially, um, Wendy has some sort of psychic connection to the face huggers for reasons we don't know why. Um, there is, let's see, uh, Kirsch, Toodles, and okay, I'll just read the rest of the episode because I didn't watch it and I'm not gonna go back and finish it because I don't care anymore. Um, I had to watch 3 episodes today because I couldn't be pressed to do all of that in the past several days that I had because I was so after I watched the first episode, I was so bored and so non-interested or uninterested, whatever you want to say, that I couldn't watch the other two. So I had to actually go back and rewatch the first episode and then the second episode, and I got to the last quarter of the third episode and I checked out. So I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it anymore. Uno momento. Um anyway, I'll just read the end. Smee and Slightly let's see. Cavalier inspects the specimens until Kirsch removes them from his own for his own protection. Adam Ines questions Smee and Slightly about their encounter with Morrow. Having escaped into New Siam, Morrow calls Utani, his boss, and insists on retrieving the specimens despite being ordered for him to return home. Curly confronts Cavalier about his favoritism towards Wendy, believing herself to be the best hybrid. Morrow contacts Slightly via the embedded device, convincing him to be his friend. Kirsch, Toodles, and Curly, even reading this is just boring, and Curly dissect a face hugger and introduce its larvae to Hermit's lung, removed during surgery. Because I guess they can do that now. Wendy awakes, seemingly intercepting signals from the xenomorph eggs, which cause her pain. She ultimately collapses in the laboratory containing the eggs. And then we have episode 4 coming up. So whatever. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save going over episode 3 of uh, Strange New Worlds until next time, next stream, which hopefully it'll be on Monday this time. Monday was harder to stream this past week for the reasons that I brought up at the beginning of this episode, but we'll definitely get to it. So I think we're going to end the stream. That's a different language, I guess. But we're going to leave it there tonight because we've gone almost to an hour. So I thank everybody for watching. We'll get to more stuff next week. I do have a video coming out very soon about the War of the Worlds movie. So keep your eyes peeled for when that's going to happen. And I will see you all next time. Live long and prosper and kapla, my friends. I love you all.